Okay. David Letterman is out here for a couple of weeks to do a show in California. Would you welcome Mr. David Letterman? Crowd is in a frenzy.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Before I begin my little presentation,
Yes.
Ed, on behalf of myself and the vast North American viewing public, keep those bloopers coming.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You send us some.
Oh, yeah, we got a truckload.
What a reception tonight, like a frenzied
nice
school
call.
of sharks
I appreciate
feeding. I mean, isn't that nice?
I like being in California, and it finally occurred to me this morning what it is I like so much about Southern California, Los Angeles in particular. I just feel, I think, a sense of peace of mind, knowing I'm in the same city as Dr. Art Uleen.
That gives strength to many of us.
Yeah,
on the,
yeah.
long, cold nights.
Troubled times, sure.
He
It's
is
nice
within
to
a
know
phone
he's,
call's
yeah,
range.
where it can come right over, yeah. Oh, boy.
They do not have in New York doctors who also make appearances on the news. Usually that's a common thing
we
now.
get Dr. Art Uleen in New York as well.
I guess he
The man is virtually everywhere.
syndicated all over the place.
Yeah,
Nice.
and it's pretty annoying, too, at this point. By the way, Johnny, those dogs are awfully ugly, but they're not bad eating.
Good evening. Good evening.
You gotta have somebody who knows just...
Really hot. Yes.
Oh, my.
That's a dangerous joke. You know that. You make a joke about cats or dogs,
Oh, I know.
and then you get they're crazed about
sure.
that. See, I'm not a cat lover.
Why is that?
Because cats, damn them, won't do anything. They don't like anybody. They don't like each other. They don't like they won't do... I want a dog. When I pet an animal, I want him to jump, run, lick my face, do something. You feed a cat, he all over and sits there. I want action.
You want a little something for your money.
That's right.
A little something
Run for my money.
A little
I've
something
got
for your
very little. I
investment.
want an animal that does something. So, now your dog was not exactly one of the great, it's a nice dog, but Bob's his
I
name.
have two dogs, yeah, I have two dogs. You know, a lot of times I come on here and I'm always whining about dogs, but it just turns out I got a pretty good dog story here that happened the other day. It's true. I'd like to share it with you if you don't mind.
Of course not. We have nothing planned.
Okay, go ahead.
Does Dick get on your nerves at all?
Not at all.
During rehearsal, do you have
Not
to play
at all,
Raider
no.
record or
No,
anything?
it's great. It's like you and Paul, almost holding hands.
Anyway, the other morning, we're in bed. We're just in bed. Let's let it go at that. And it's about 5:30, and the dogs, Bob and Stan, are sleeping on the floor. There's some kind of disturbance outside. They get up, and we have to let them out. Bob and Stan are now outside. So we go back to bed, and about 20 minutes later, we hear a splash. You know. Now, this, by the way, is an indication that dogs are not as smart as you think they are, which also should be obvious the first time you see them drinking out of your toilet. But you forget about that.
We'll cross that off.
Yeah, you get to live with it. So we hear a splash.
Right.
Now, at 6 in the morning, you don't think too much about a splash in the swimming pool. I mean, you know the neighborhood. It could be a branch, it could be a tree, it could be a drifter freshening up. It could be anything. So right after the splash, Stan, the younger of the two dogs...
Stan,
yeah.
I knew Bob. I didn't know Stan.
Stan comes back in, and he goes to sleep. Again, we don't think too much about this. About a half an hour later, we hear this noise. And I jump out of my sleep, and I say, oh, my God, it's a wounded condor. We've got to get out there. And...
Naturalist that you are, I didn't know you picked up on those sounds.
Or a sea bat or something.
Yes.
I don't know what it is. So we go rushing out of the swimming pool. Now Bob is not in good shape. You've seen him before. He's built like a fur-covered oil drum, this guy.
Lumbering would be the word.
He's fat and he's old and he's bloated. So he's in the pool now, this is the truth, fighting for his life. So we phoned the sheriff, they brought up a helicopter, we got a derrick and pulled him out. So now you have to look at this from Stan's side of the story. See, Stan witnessed the whole thing. Stan's out there. He knows Bob is old. He knows he's feeble. He sees him go into the pool. I don't know how he fell in. He might have been pushed. Stan maybe pushed him. So Stan is there. He sees him struggling. He sees him hanging on the edge like a rat clinging to a meat truck, you know? He says to himself, Stan does, well, things seem to be in order here. I guess I'll go in and get a nap.
Yes. And Bob is all right.
Yeah, Bob is all right.
Is
But
all
they're just
right.
not that bright. It's a little,
Yeah, we give them credit, you see.
Yeah,
for...
well, they don't really deserve that kind of credit, but
No,
we
they don't.
pretend that they get that.
All right, we'll be back here in just a moment. We have to leave for a moment, but I should have known you were in town, even though I did before I came to work. As I drove in today, to cross over here as you go by the guard, there were lots of people with their dogs.
Right.
I assume that's auditioning for your show this coming week, next week?
Let's hope so. Let's hope that's what they're doing. Let's hope we're not restaffing.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. You know, we're going to have stupid pet tricks and on the show. I feel like a jerk saying, thank you very much, thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, we're awfully, thank you.
Like the Nobel Prize has just come your way.
And you know what else we're doing? Yesterday and the day before, we spent out on the streets of Los Angeles doing some videotape things that we'll use on the show.
That could be dangerous. You could be picked up, you see. People don't go out on the streets in Los Angeles and walk around like they do in New York.
We had an interesting experience. In fact, in the 3 years that we've been on the air in New York, people tend to be very nice, which you would guess maybe in New York you'd have some trouble. But yesterday morning, the first location we went to, we just barely had the camera set up. And out of the corner of my eye, my peripheral vision, I see a woman sort of walking toward me. And I didn't think too much about it. She looked peculiar. I'll say that. She looked like the kind of person whose life ambition was to do odd jobs for Gallagher. So she comes over and she says, "You're David Letterman, aren't you?" And I said, "Yes, I am." And she said, "Welcome to California. I know you're not here very often." I said, "Well, that's very nice of you. Thank you very much. I appreciate the sentiments." And she said, "Can I talk with you a second?" Now, 90% of the time when somebody says this to me, it's usually regarding stupid pet tricks. You know, they say, I have a cat that gargles, or we have a canary who thinks he's a chamois. We'd like to come on and polish a little car. So I said, sure. And she says, you know, whenever I see your show come on, she says to me, I can't switch it off fast enough. And so now, like a jerk, this is me, I say, well, thank you. I'll tell the network. You know, like I'm turning myself in here. And she says, well, you don't need to do that. I've been writing them letters ever since you've been on the air. So I'm really feeling good about the day at this point. And I said, well, if you'll excuse me, we have to get back to work. And she said, what? Just a minute. She says, you don't understand. I can't switch your show off fast enough. And I'm thinking, well, what does she want from me? Ways to switch it off faster? Forget the on-off switch. Just jerk the plug out of the wall, ma'am. Or here's what you do. Have your husband stand by the set. You go down to the fuse box. When you hear the theme music, he'll give you the signal. Throw the lever. That'll cut it off. Call the power company at 1229. They pull the plug. You'll never get it. So it was a little disarming.
That's kind of, yeah. They mean well.
Yeah,
they mean well.
Well, I don't know if she meant well, but...
Of course she does. All right, I understand you have a film clip, as they say.
We
now,
have videotape. Clips, John, as you know, are the lifeblood of the American entertainment industry.
That's right. Where would we be if we didn't have clips?
Exactly my point, John, and I'm glad you brought it up.
Right.
Yeah, it's a... but, you know, normally I hate going on your show with a clip, and I think if you'd admit it, if somebody broke into your house and woke you up in the middle of the night, you'd admit that you hated clips, too.
Right.
By the way, has anybody ever done that? Broke into your house in the middle?
Once, only once.
Anyway, what we have here tonight is a piece called Dog Poetry.
Dog poetry.
Yeah. Thank you again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bishop Tutu applauding up there. So, now originally when the idea for this piece
We're
was...
in a weird business, aren't we?
Yeah, we really
We get away with this kind of stuff. Okay.
I'm 38. Earlier today, I had to have somebody else pick out my socks. What does that tell you about me?
That's right.
Anyway, so the idea was presented to me. We have dog poetry, and I was apprehensive at first, but we went ahead and we did dog poetry, and I'll give the person proper credit after we see how it plays here.
All right. Let's see.
But this was done on the show about 3 months ago, and it's something called dog poetry.
Watch the monitor. sentiments exactly.
Anyway, that was the idea of one of our writers, Meryl Marco. She was
Very funny.
responsible
Come to
for
think of it, dogs think more like humans, and we give them credit.
But a
for it.
nice, classy ending, didn't you think?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice. Kind of the French mime
Yeah.
theater type of
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
We have to do this? Hold up. Is that what you mean, Fred? Or are you ordering a drink? I can never tell when Fred does these, whether it's age or...